Everyone, Mary Pat here, and today I'm going to be making a scrapbook layout, and I've made this sketch, and I'm going to be scrapping my sun here from the winter, and I'm going to be using the Sunshine Sorbet 6x6 paper pad from Some Odd Girl, and this paper just totally rocks, and it's perfect for scrapbooking. Looking at the sketch, I have this border that I made up at the top, and I was thinking of putting little pattern paper to do that, but then I remembered about the Kaylee sweater Kaylee set, and they had those perfect stitches. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own border using those. And so I've got my Jenny Bolin ink, and I'm just going to ink the cute stitches up, and I'm just going to stamp that multiple times across the bottom to create that border. And as I've said before, I just love stamping on my layouts, and so this is perfect. This stamp is just perfect for it. So I'm just running it across, and then you can see I've got just a little bit left that for about 3 parts. And so I don't want to stamp on my thing, so I'm just going to throw my sketch underneath there and line that up and stamp that out, and it looks perfect. So now I want to do the same thing on the opposite side. So here it looks with the top and the bottom all stamped up. And now I kind of want to create this great background that kind of looks like snow in the background. So I have this box that I use for spraying, and I've got my Studio Calico Mr. Huey's white, and I'm just going to randomly spray. With the sketch, it kind of goes from the top left to the bottom right. So I kind of just like kind of emphasizing those 2 areas when I am putting down the mist. And so now I'm just kind of like flicking some more white on there to look like kind of like big snowflakes. Now, when I am scrapbooking or making cards, I save every single scrap. And so this layout is used all with scraps from a couple of cards. So I'm going to use, I just kind of like played around ahead of time and just found some of the scraps that work. And so, you know, instead of using like a big piece of the pink going all the way across underneath that, I just have these little tiny strips that I cut off, and you can tuck them under so that it makes it look like you've got a big section of paper underneath there. Why waste the paper when all you need is just that little bit sticking out? So I've got that, and then one of my favorites is that wood grain. And then I was going to put that on a card, and it was too big and I didn't like it, but I just kept it. And so I thought, well, it'd be perfect for my layout. And because again, I like to use every single scrap. So I'm just layering these scraps all on there, and that is a 4x4 photo with that. And so all of my paper is layered underneath there. And then I've got my photo and everything, and I've got the hexagons that are kind of moving from the top left to the bottom right. And so I cut some of those out, and again, just all with my scraps. And I'm just going to randomly place them from going to the top to kind of draw your attention from there all the way down to the photo and then back down to the corner. So I'm just kind of playing around, just seeing what looks right to me. There's no wrong way. And then I've got the awesome wood veneer from Some Odd Girl. And so then that's going to complement the paper pieces and just give it some more texture on there. And there's 3 sizes. And so on the top, I want to use the large, the medium, and the small. And then I want to do the same for down in the right-hand corner and get those. And so those look really good, just kind of, again, we'll adjust it once. I always just kind of want to get them down, and then once I start gluing, then I put everything down there. On the sketch, I have a tag tucked underneath there, and I'm going to be using one of my tags from Coordinations, and that's going to be kind of like tucked underneath and under. I'm going to stamp on it. So I really like that, and so I think I'm going to break out some stamps, and I love this cute little bunny, and I think this came out last year, and I think I'm going to use that Let It Snow stamp. And so first off, I want to kind of distress my tag, and so this is Coordination, so you can sand it. So I'm using my sand it gadget, and I'm just using the top part and giving that a kind of grungy kind of look on that. So I'm cleaning it up and getting all the sanding off of it, and so I definitely now have made my decision that I definitely want that Let It Snow, and I'm using some Avery Elle white pigment ink, and I'm going to stamp that right at the top, and so you can see it right there. I kind of did some test stamps down at the bottom, and that looks really good, and I like that. So that ink needs to dry a little bit, so I'm going to let that off and dry, and before I tuck it under. And so now it's all dry, and so I'm tucking that under, so it's so cute, and I've got that Let It Snow right there, and everything's looking pretty good. Now I want to do my title with my stamps, and so I'm kind of going through there, and I really love this sentiment on this stamp set, and it is Crazy About You. And I just thought that would be perfect for this photo of my little guy. So I'm going to just stamp that there using that Jenny Bolin, that navy blue ink, and that navy blue ink just matches perfectly with everything. So that's looking really good. And again, I'm just kind of stamping wherever I think it should go. I'm not being very precise here. And then next I want to put, from this stamp set, I want to pick and use that Love. And again, just going in there with the Jenny Bolin ink and picking that up and just kind of going underneath it and having that Love. And I think that's going to look really, really great together. And with that, and it does. I like that. So next, I just glued everything down, and I added some twine to my tag, but I still have yet to glue down the hexagons. So because while I was doing that, I was like, ooh, I think I need one more stamp, and I went into my stamp thing and found this Picture Perfect, and oh, I love that stamp. So, and I'd never used it on a layout, I didn't think, so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to get that in. And I want to put it up at the top to mix in with my stamps. And so I'm going to stamping right over the misting, and it still works great on that. And so it's Picture Perfect. So now it is time for me to start gluing things down, and I'm using this Zip Dry. It is the best glue if you want to glue things down. So I've glued all my paper down and my wood veneer with it, and now I want some bling, and I'm just sprinkling my Some Odd Girl sequins that matches the paper perfectly, and I'm just going to sprinkling those around, and then I'm going to glue that down. So everything is done now and glued down, and I really love all the stamping, and the paper is just perfect for it. So it is the Sunshine Sorbet, so don't be afraid to think that you can't scrapbook with it, because you can. Thanks so much. Bye.